It sounds okay, says Leo. All right, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It's good enough. Okay, cool.
Fantastic.
So let me do this. Welcome to Fireside Fables, where League DMs get together and talk about the art of DMing. I'm your host. And before I present the guests, who you might know, I just want to invite everyone to send questions in the chat and input or something you want to highlight from our tables. We've got some questions that we're ready to get into, but it's a lot of fun if you guys also feed into it. So I will keep a look on the Discord here on my iPad. That's why you will see me looking down a little bit. And yeah, otherwise we're also recording this for the future. So let's dive in. Say hello to people who watch this later and tell us just briefly who you are.
Hello, people who watch this later, and I'm Alessandro, DM of the Titan of Frog. And other information interested?
That's great.
Not interested? I think it's the basics. Go on the basics.
Yeah, that's good. Good basics. How about you, sir?
I'm Sohail, and I'm the DM of the Titan of Glory.
And I'm Anders. I'm the DM of the Titan of Wonders, which I can't even pronounce. So that was a stupid name. Anyway, let's get into some just like quick, easy questions. Maybe not easy, but one of the questions I want to start with here, just to get us started. We're already getting questions in the chat, so that's great. Keep them coming. Give me a recent game highlight from your table that you're still thinking about.
There's going to be a bit of awkward silence there.
Can be a player, can be yourself, can be a prop.
I can start. I recently ran a reasonably big combat session on the Titan of Glory, and the background to this is there was a character death, and this led to characters in game saying that we want to take action as a response to this. First, it was supposed to be a rescue mission, which didn't pan out as expected. Then it was just a revenge mission. And a lot of characters, or rather players, said that their characters want to be part of this. And I didn't want to deny characters the opportunity to be able to, take part in something that they felt that they were equally a part of the history of the character who'd passed. And so I just kind of let the numbers rack up until we had, I think, almost 10 people. And yeah, the big day came. There was quite a lot of build up to how and when this combat takes place, and the spells and the information that characters had leading up to it, and journeying through the abyss, etc., and getting there. And basically, the fight got split over 2 levels, and I had a surprise DM come in because I knew I wasn't able to handle this by myself. And so I had Jamie. If you ever watch this, thank you. My God, you saved that session. And so that was like a kind of a fun moment where the players got to, the characters were like, what the heck? We're not all fighting the boss at the same time. And then the players also had a bit of a surprise of an unconventional session moment.
Yeah. And they succeeded. Yeah.
They succeeded ridiculously well.
Yeah.
It was a showcase of teamwork, excellent spell knowledge, people resurrecting people in the moment, bringing them back up at key moments. Also, they had made some NPC friends, which slightly favored them. I personally, I'm going to tell you all now, I was expecting minimum 2 more deaths as a part of this, and we had 0.
Oh wow!
It was a clean sheet.
Well, these people are so good at this game.
And people get prepared for weeks.
I thought it was amazing to see. It was a lot of people, a lot of different variables. In the end, it was 9 players. The 10th was my own character, so I got the other DM to finish off, and I got to put my character in because they had a close bond with Song of the Babbling Brook, and there are so many variables, but people combined really well and got through it.
I'm reading here from Ege that it was amazing. So live feedback and confirmation. That's awesome. All right, Alessandro, what about you?
I'm thinking when my players created the stock market. So it was in a session in the bureau. It was already a bit of a fourth wall breaking session. They had a room where, for example, they saw us playing as players. But at some point, after having all these kind of interactions with the real world, also other stuff happening, one of them, I think it was it Beleth or Xanath? Anyway, Tevin's character, he started seeing lines on the wall, started seeing green lines.
Kaias, apparently.
Kaias.
Yeah.
I completely forgot. Thank you for the reminder. I'm terrible with names. I do not use them. Regardless, he started seeing lines going up, going down, and he also started getting into the idea of trying to make money. At the point, he had a coin in his hand, he started flipping over it, and that's where just gears started turning, pieces connecting, and the stock market was born. When everybody started betting, he managed to lose everyone's, not just the stock market, the crypto market. So everybody started betting money because he convinced other players to bet money on the stock market, which was basically, he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was the only person that could see the stock market. And he managed to convince everybody else that the stock market was going to make them rich.
Yeah.
He managed to lose everybody's money.
Yeah.
And regain them, to just go back to exactly, net zero. And I think he just lost some money on it, but got a lot of experience and a cool pair of sunglasses.
They're calling it the weave chain here now.
Correct. It is a weave chain because the, as I said, is a crypto. It was a blockchain thing.
Yeah,
it was a blockchain scheme, a blockchain business venture. It's still technically active, not a particularly used feature of the frog, but I do have the tendency of just throwing mechanics there, and some carry and some don't. But I do see a future for the stock market. So, yeah, that's it. It was
awesome.
fun.
I like. I'll share mine too. I should say the fact that the players went along with their little NPC friend who wanted to go to a comet and destroy it, and they basically turned the Titan of Light into the Titan of Wonders through their actions. But my favorite moment from that game, I think, is I decided, okay, I'm finally going to do something mean and kind of evil. They had put such effort into saving an NPC that I just came up with on the fly, and our lovely Daniel always recruits NPCs. I think every NPC I've thrown his way, he recruits somehow. So I had created this just like the tiefling girl who was grumpy and didn't really want to be there, was just trying to go home. And so I had some people kill her, just like turn her into crystal and crush her in the session. And they're just like, can we just put her together after we've like dealt with these people? We just put her together and cast mending. I'm just like, well, rule of cool, yes. And she gets brought back to life and is pissed about it. And now she's still alive somewhere on the Titan of Wonders. And I have to figure out who she is.
I really love when players really put extra effort in saving a character that you were planning to kill.
Yeah.
I had one which was just a throwaway warlock that kinda was technically a wizard but got in touch with Vecna. It was literally just designed to be there to be sacrificed in a door, the typical door that say, you need to sacrifice your life. They came up with shenanigans. Because one of them still had like a resurrection spell, a resurrection effect for the wild magic table, and I managed to save this character. And I was like, you know what? This guy's gonna hunt you down. This guy's gonna hunt you. This guy's now got a full story.
Yeah.
And he is. Now he is doing stuff around the frog, and he's been doing stuff in the background for quite a while now. And I love that. I love the contribution there.
Yeah, it's so fun when you get something just thrown at you that you can then turn into a much bigger thing. But now, speaking of NPCs, I have a question here about favorite NPC ever created. So I want to hear from you. Or maybe favorite NPC created within League games. Mm-hmm. I don't know how long you've DM'd before, but that's something Yeah, I don't know. I always want to hear about other people's NPCs.
That's a good question, because honestly, I think that's something where I would like to be better at creating NPCs, because the stuff that I create out of my mind doesn't really, like the stuff that I put in the story never becomes as impactful as the stuff that comes out organically from the players. I think a mix, I think a mix of a character is somebody, more than my favorite character, is somebody that I am relatively attached to, is Atreya, a goddess that was created thanks to the actions of some players in the Titan of Frog. And it was a mix of players' actions and the plot coming together. So I do have a bit of a sweet spot for that character. And especially because I feel it's the most dynamic one. The other characters, honestly, Marv probably. I think Marv, but that is yet another character that in my mind it was just a kid, like basically Dr. Manhattan, almost a blank slate. But then somebody mentioned, again, I think it was Beleth or Zaneth, Devin mentioned so it looks like the Golden Child. Thank you. So Beleth mentioned is the Golden Child. By the way, this character also kind of came up by the absolutely batshit insane actions of the players. It was not there by default. And yeah, I googled the Golden Child. I didn't see the movie. He was referring just bold child, just because it was bold. I saw the picture of Eddie Murphy. So I thought you were referring to Eddie Murphy. I was like, well, yeah, he's got a mustache and everything. So yeah, that's why it's called Murph. It's Dr. Manhattan, and it became because of the offhand comment that Bellet made. It now looks like Eddie Murphy.
Amazing.
But good.
I'm getting photos here in the chat, and I wish I hadn't seen them. I will try to stitch that into the video later when I post it.
When it hits the YouTube channel, it just like flashes over Alessandro for a moment.
We'll just put this face on all of us. Oh, I can't stop looking. This movie has come up twice today for me. Why? What's happening?
You must watch it.
Yeah, I think it's time. It's time to watch Watchmen.
Must watch them.
Great. Perfect. I'm scared. Sohail, what about you?
Favorite NPCs? I've created so many NPCs that and then now all evading me. But two come to mind. One is Davin Kirk, who was basically the innocent partner of someone who was running a cult as a fighting school. So my Titan is all about pit fighting and gladiator stuff. So there's lots of small schools and big schools where people get taught how to do this as a professional career. And so this new one popped up. It was basically a cult. The guy who was running it also wasn't a guy. He was like a creature in disguise. She was managing the school but had no idea about all of this. So what it offered was this point in conflict at the end of a game, and she serviced as someone who had been doing the wrong thing but was innocent in her knowledge of it. And so the idea was mixed emotions and how do players deal with that. Is everyone bad? Are some people good? She fled the scene because they left her be. And then she recurred later in a different adventure for lower levels because she had moved across town, started her life again. But there's something going on in the basement that needed tending, so could go in. And I added in that I added in a couple of seemingly irrelevant things about it. She's eating a lot of chocolate, and her outfit was quite tight, and people took it as D&D female. She's busty in her shirt, butt's going. But all of these were clues to the fact she was pregnant. And so then they figured this out, and then people got attached. I think it was Sermi. One of Anna's characters got attached to Davin Kirk. And then funny, we were talking about killing NPCs later because she died.
Oh.
because the thing that she was carrying was not from the previous partner. It was a homebrew type of hag that gestates and like requires a host and comes out. And these guys damn near tried to save her as well. Yeah. I was like, this can't, because the whole adventure is premised on this thing being born and you seeing it. But she was like, a recurring character who I took through different steps of things, and I think I kind of got a bit attached to her too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, loving an NPC. I think we've all been there.
My second favorite is an honorable mention is Malumna, who's basically the knowledge clerk. So like in the tourist center, people go to her and she's just got a bunch of information you can ask about statistics and stuff about the Titan, and she'll tell you. And the reason I love her is I cannot tell you yet.
Oh.
Yeah. But there's a lot of gold behind the inspiration for her.
Kush is saying Malumna, and now is typing. Does she know?
She doesn't know. Nobody knows.
I thought it was because you like doing the sound when she...
That might be it. That might be it. I shall not reveal.
Oh. I love the design of the car.
Right. It's time to play some more on the Titan of Glory. There is what I assume is frenetic typing. No, it stopped. Okay, never mind. That'll be saved for later. I think I realized I sort of answered this question last time because I rolled it on the D100 that we'll go to later. But I think I talked too much about my favorite little gnome, Godry, who's just me, which I guess it's narcissism that I love this NPC, but he got to turn into a half-dragon, so that was cool. I had another NPC that I kind of maybe want to bring back at some point, that a few characters met at the wedding session on my Titan, and it was just this enormous Goliath lady. Her name is Brandywine, and she does baby pageants where she turns people into their baby selves and then does competitions for cutest baby.
Wow.
And I truly Beleth was a baby, Madrush was a baby, I believe. I think all of them sort of won. I don't really remember. There was a baby race. Salim was a baby. Oh God, people were generating visuals of this.
I want to see Salim.
Oh yeah.
You shared it. I remember. I didn't realize it was for a session.
I'll put this on the YouTube video.
That's too good. This is excellent.
Little baby Salim with a gun. But after the session, or even as I was running this character, I was just like, wait, this is actually really fucked up. This is very dark. Like, who does this? Like, she goes to weddings. This is a party trick to like have baby competitions. So I want to explore her backstory or future in some way, perhaps. We shall see what the future holds for Brandywine.
She doesn't get an island of her own.
Yeah. Maybe Baby Island.
Maybe Baby Island.
Yeah. All right. You know what? That was enough of NPCs. How do you prep a session?
Easy. I don't.
That's a good answer.
God damn it! I was very much hoping for insights as to how you prep a session, because my method is over prepare. Basically, write for every possible timeline of things that happen. Well, that's how it began, and now I've streamlined it quite a lot. But I do over prepare. I spend a lot of time thinking about the music that I want for a scene, and then I like put it in a playlist and I cue it, and then I create vistas for stuff, and then character images, and then I'm like writing stuff, and then if there's a speech that has to be delivered a certain way, and then I'm writing the speech, and it takes a really long time. And I like the sense of your sessions is so different to that. And I was like, I need to learn some things of this is my chance to pick your brain.
Okay, when I joke about not planning anything. I do very minimal planning, but I do a bit of planning. As in during the week or even on the same day of the session, I start kind of picking my brain about a theme or something specific I want to do. It's more than about the session itself. It's something that I want to do. That's why I have all these mechanics, because I like making games. And that's why we had, for example, the ship here in this very room, we had the ship fight. And I came up with a mechanics on how to generate a ship, how to move a ship. That definitely was planning.
Okay.
It didn't take that long. It took me a few hours total. But regardless, it was planning, and it's probably the most planning I did.
It was so much fun too, because you had to actually play a different game within the game,
right?
And understand what you were doing. Yeah.
In the same session, I also had an example of stuff that does require planning, and I'm not good at improvising, which is puzzles. That puzzle in the same session at the end was objectively not fun. Was not fun for you to play and for me to DM. Because it's, everybody's got, I would say, some specialty. For me, it's game mechanics, and I would say all DMs in the league I see are very good with player interaction. I do almost everything between point A and point B, unless I have some specific events I want to put there that I feel might spur player interaction. I base almost entirely my choices around what people do on the table. So, that's it. To me, prepping is basically these two poles, and everything in between is in the camera. There's two poles, and then everything in between is the players moving the web and smokes and mirrors.
I'm learning here too from Ryan. No, for real. The last time I played with him, he grabbed 4 random board games from the wall and said, "Pick one, and I'll make something."
Yes.
Oh, the launch party.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Ryan, can you confirm or deny? Was that the launch event?
Launch event? Yeah.
Wait, a second. But I hope it's not the dust from the work at home. Anyway, the coffin. No, but basically to find inspiration. I didn't prepare anything for the launch party. I saw the word.
I'm stressed for you after.
I saw there were like 4 games. Actually, I picked like 4 or 5 games, and I said, "Hey, you have the theme and a bit of inspiration." So they picked definitely like a prop hunt ghost something. I didn't read the rule for that one, but I did have a few props. So basically, I used the board from the game. They were fighting on that board, and the game came with a few figures of like a ghost, a bottle, etc. So I just used that as now we're doing a prop hunt with a ghost that's possessing objects. That's people vibe with it.
Yeah.
Ryan, thank you very much, because people you're amazing in this session. Like there was so much player contribution. Had there not been, it would have not been remotely as fun.
Yeah. I think so much of, I didn't know this. I mean, I still feel like I'm a brand new DM, and realizing how much players actually do things and come up with stuff, and you're just like, oh yeah, I'll just take that, and then we'll see. I had a session recently where I misunderstood what the players wanted to do. So I was just like, oh, okay, I'll let them do this other thing. I'll let them go to this other island and check that out. They were searching for Bella's sister, and they were just like, well, go to this island. I'm like, yes, great. Take them to another island. And I'm just like, okay, I'll have to improvise this quite a bit because it's not what I prepared, because I thought they would go to the other one. And we get there and I start describing it, and they're like, oh, so we're on that island. Like halfway through, it's way too late to start rewinding. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I just improvised essentially a full session. I mean, of course, I knew some of the characters, the lore, or what was going on there. It was the most fun I had. I think it was a lot of fun for the players as well, according to what they said after. But just sitting there and coming up with whole situations and just being like, there's animals in cages, now there's battle, you're going through a portal to the ethereal plane and back, and also here's your sister. Chaos, but I loved it, and I was just like, oh wait, maybe improvisation is the way I like to run games too.
It's fun.
Yes, fully improvised.
Fully improvised.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I'd love to concept thumbs up, but my God.
But I think in general, I'm somewhere in between you two, where, because I followed the Sly Flourish 8 steps of the lazy dungeon master. So it's this guy, Sly Flourish, great, Michael Shea is his name. someone who has this technique for lazy dungeon masters where you go through 8 steps to prep each session.
Oh.
And you basically just like have a benchmark for CR. You have some scenes in mind. You have some NPCs listed, some locations, and some monsters. And I do that just to feel safe, and then I never really look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Review the characters, create a strong start, outline potential scenes, define secrets and clues, develop fantastic locations, outline important NPCs, choose relevant monsters, select magic item rewards.
I do hope in the full version there's a description of that, because if it's like draw a circle and a circle the rest of the owl.
Yes. Draw the rest of the fucking owl, I believe. Amazing. We've got some typing, and keep minimum prep. It's great. Okay, we all have some challenges here. I saw a question here in the beginning that I'm going to scroll through, but maybe I don't know if it was a joke or if it was great. Wait, where's it? I have lost it. Paint me a picture. What's a good DM look like? What does a good DM look like?
Great.
We mean visually, right? Because, I don't know, that question is answered visually today. What do you think actually makes a good DM?
I would like to say flexibility, but I sound a bit like patting on my back. But I do think like flexibility, and most importantly, letting the players drive the game. To be fair, not every group has players that drive the game. I've also played session. It's flexibility. No flexibility. You need to adapt to the type of group. I played, full disclosure, I've been DMing for 17 years at this point, 15 or 17. So you have a lot of different, especially in the league, a lot of different groups.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I found that in the league, you have more proactive people that contribute. So it makes my job more feasible.
Mm.
I've had groups instead where there is nobody driving, where you wonder if people are even having fun. And it turns out they are, but they're basically just following your story. In the case you move them along and you need more events. These kind of players, you need to put some random events happening so they get pushed forward in the plot. Other players instead manage to come out with their own ideas, and even better if you manage to make them feel like the plot is written. Smokes and mirrors. Not, but anyway, that's it. Flexibility, yes.
Great.
I think it depends so much, doesn't it? I think you alluded to this, but the D&D community is varied, and there are different groups of people who are interested in different things. Being able to read that and being able to deliver on that is a skill that's I think is extremely difficult to do all of it well. Even in a single table, you could have different ends of the spectrum. So I think what players, ultimately your job is to have a good time along with all the people at the table, yourself included as a DM. And if you can deliver on that, that is ultimately the goal. But like, I think the answer to that in specifics is so player dependent. Like the two of us have very different tones to our Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is serious, risk of death. I want there to be consequences, and yours is like light, crazy. Like don't take it too seriously. Have some fun, outlandish things happen. It's very different. And while we have the same players that obviously come to both Titans, there are players who will gravitate towards a different type of vibe more strongly. So I don't think there is that's a cop-out answer, I think, but
yeah, but I mean that's
so
that's also what we're doing here. We're giving multiple perspectives, which is what I love about this place. I think I try to answer these questions too. I feel like I also haven't actually played D&D as much as some people in the league, but in terms of feeling good at a table, I actually do really appreciate a DM that knows how to pace. the game. Like, and that can be through picking up what the character or the players are trying to do, and then going forward and helping people take the steps to make something happen. That can also have to do with bringing in the shyer player, or what's it called, like sort of doing the diplomacy between the different player wants and needs. So to me, that's when I have a lot of fun. I think I am one of the players sometimes who like sits back a little bit because I'm just so fascinated by everybody. So then it's really helpful when I still see that, like, okay, even if I do something small or something, the DM picks things up and moves them forward. That's really cool. But speaking of picking up on what players want to do, I have a good question here from Ryan in the chat as well. One of those steps from the lazy dungeon master is to review characters. And so I'll read the statement here from Ryan.
Okay.
Most DMs skip the review characters step. I'm a firm believer that a player's character sheet tells you exactly what they want to do in D&D. I'm curious, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I see why you can get. I feel like you can get hints more than anything, but yeah, if somebody's built a character with all like high charisma, or rather like with a high strength, high combat skills, and it's got all the optimized build, then that makes sense. I also do feel like, I don't know, because people also change what they want from a session, even depending on how they woke up. Unless it's just me, but I personally feel like that. So, I think I see the point. I do see the point. At the same time, I'm very lazy.
I was thinking that because I get very overwhelmed because I still ask people to send me character sheets, but I need to look at just some things, or what I'm most interested in on a character sheet is the thinking of, what the purpose of this character is, or drive, or whatever. If people take the time to write those things down, even a little backstory, or even those older, more like ideals, bonds, things like that. To me, that just makes it a little easier to know what type of character someone wants to play. And sometimes I think also someone makes a character sheet because they think they want to play this kind of character, and then they don't really, because they want to do more investigation than swinging a sword or something like that. But I would like to get to do more looking at people's character sheets and actually even talking to people about what they think is cool. There was one session I ran where I asked people what new skill from leveling up they were most excited to use. I couldn't necessarily cater to all that, but that also gives you an idea of just like, okay, people are excited about this. That's not so much me reviewing their character sheet, but me being lazy and telling them to tell me what on the character sheet is most important.
I mean, communication, I think it's even better than trying to extrapolate from the character sheet, because character sheet has a lot of stuff. I have strong opinions about D&D as a system, to be honest. And the character sheet, like the way it looks, if you just look at it, and all the random stuff that doesn't really add that much mechanically, it's one of them. So, I don't think I have the skill to deduce from the character sheet.
But you have the skill to be able to read the player's intention and life. So in terms of like, because from what you're saying, your whole session is based around what a person tells you the character wants to do in the moment.
Yeah.
So you still get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. I think, everybody's got a different style.
Yeah.
For me, especially if I see people are kind of disconnecting, almost checking their phone, or like they don't do it normally. But if I see they're not engaging with a particular part, I finish what I'm doing with the people that are engaged. Then I try to put something of another bit.
That's good. I like that.
If I notice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have a character sheet review?
I do review character. I like to look at character sheets. Totally different to both of you, though. I don't try to interpret the build because, again, I don't have the like. It feels like a lot of time and energy, and I'm already like, overdoing it, as other DMs tell me, with the rest of my preparation. But what I'd like to do is I like to get resistances. I like to get languages. I like to get any stuff where I don't have to ask someone, like especially languages is a great one. If there is draconic writing that I've placed somewhere, I don't say, does anyone know draconic? I just say, you guys just see some stuff. But Anders, Oziak sees, he can read this. And it just, from a storytelling perspective, it's smoother for me to do, it's smoother for people to receive it, and it helps them not break that immersion as many times.
I think it adds to the immersion too, because then you're just like, oh shit, I get to do the cool thing that I have prepared or forgotten that I can do. Or
also passives. So if I have a DC that's mid-range, especially with some of the characters we have now, passives are quite high. I don't need to ask everyone to roll checks at all, because I know that 2 people will know what's happening here.
I started actually. I need to keep doing that in future games. This list on my little digital DM screen, the passives for my players, because there is a lot of time spent rolling perception when you maybe didn't need to.
The thing I have with passives is that since we are deciding the challenge, it's automatically and the passives. At that point, it becomes I want the character to know specifically, because unless you have like a pre-made session, something that somebody else designed, you decide. It feels to me like I'm deciding. I want them to have this information now. While with a roll, I can get an extra input of going a direction or another one. We're letting fate decide. On the passive, I decided DC, so I can just say, 2 people know. So I do see though how, from a player perspective, it could look different.
So another question here in the chat is, what was something you added or changed about your game / session / campaign for a single character?
For a single character, as a result of the character action or something that they wanted to do. I mean, I did add a shotgun for a low-level character when we were in Hell. And there was a character that just was like level 2. Everybody was like level 8 or 9. I gave him the Demon Slayer shotgun. And the character managed to do something. And now he's a warlock that reflavored the shotgun as a focus for the shooting. And he drops little health orbs whenever he hits someone kills someone with what's the name? Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love
That's cool.
Interesting.
But that's such great flavor. How about you?
I think I've done it quite a lot. Like where players engage with me to, and I'm talking Anna, I'm talking Tevin. Whenever someone engages with me and says, "Can I do a thing?" I try to say yes. So Surmi is from my Titan. And that meant that all of the high-level lore that I'd written became 1 level deeper, and I just dumped it because this is stuff that the character would know. I have created weapons specific for people, which are like really not usable by anyone, but in their custom design. The aforementioned fight in the abyss that everyone went down for was actually started off as a throwaway side adventure that had nothing to do with my Titan, because I wanted to do puzzles. And so I came up with a reason for people to go into a little pocket dimension and just puzzle around Mortal Kombat 2. And then, League's first character death. And then that led to kind of like a split in like where I was intending my Titan's overall stories, because there are multiple to go. And then and where the characters were actually engaging with it. And so I was, Devin said, we're obviously not taking this, like, we're going back. And then so I created a way that there was a reverse summoning where the summoned creature was like calling them down, and that ended up with a conversation, ended up with a really cool moment where Reptar went into the abyss to confront Grass, and they were looking to get Song of the Babbling Brack. I'll say that 3 times fast. And was offered what basically I didn't want it to be a fight. I wanted it to be an uncomfortable choice. And Beleth took a deal from one of the demon lords of the Abyss, and Reptar didn't. And that's a tough thing to do in the moment as a player, to honor a character when you're sitting around a table with other real people who have invested interest in a certain outcome. And so I applaud Ege for doing that. And he tried to negotiate around it, this and that, but at the end of the day, I did what a demon lord would do and try to make him squirm as much as possible. But he didn't squirm. He said, like, these are my boundaries and I won't take it. And that led to the coming back and the murdering of a lot of CR20 plus creatures in this place. But that's where the players took the story, and I just picked up a creature for my little puzzle adventure, and it led to this whole thing, and it's because players said we wanted to do it.
Yeah, this is what happens when you do puzzles.
So much violence over puzzles.
Yeah. But this has been really cool to follow just via Discord or hearing via players and so on, to actually follow this story happening, but not really knowing all the details. But it is so cool. It was a very difficult decision for Reptar, indeed, says Ege in the chat. Right. Yeah. Wow. Okay. There have been weirdly ties, both decisions made and random tables that have had some effect on that story on your Titan from my Titan as well, because Beleth has been on the Titan of Light. And because of his backstory, I placed his sister on the Titan, working with a evil organization. And basically this wholly improvised session was them meeting her for the first time, finding out she was working with these Oni, who were basically capturing monsters and ferrying them around the Titan to fake miracles or like fake great deeds by religious people. And so there was a whole, this Oni is the guy who sacked Beleth's village, and so they kill him, they find people, that's how they find the person who gets turned into a crystal later. Long story short, so that really influenced, of course, my Titan, that I'm just like, okay, this backstory means there are Oni here. This backstory means this sister has ties to this cult that's trying to become gods. And then in the end, they had that fight. And I believe, and I might be wrong, Tevin, you can correct me in that case, but I believe that was where they then found a treasure chest. And I rolled randomly on a table for the gate spell, I believe, or like plant some form of spell that they were trying to use and failing to use on your Titan.
That's where that came from.
And that was a random table, and they were like, I love how these things have just, that didn't work using, but anyway, still fun that it's like the interconnectedness here.
That's so great. Yeah, they wanted to pull the demon lord out of his palace.
Yeah,
to somewhere else where they could kill him. Unfortunately, they didn't read all the fine print of what the spell does. But I definitely remember when they got that item, the conversation shifted about this is how we plan it, this is how we do it. And then, this is kind of really the testament to what the League gives, in that, yes, these are all one-shots. Yes, there are times with stories and arcs, but not everyone is there for all parts of it. But the story from each character's perspective is a whole one.
Yeah.
And they're still going to go fight Grust in the Abyss, and they're still going to use the things that they find along the way, and they're looking for things along the way in order to help that. And then what happens from there is it's like a cohesive picture.
Yeah.
And that's something that you really cannot get, the moment where they pull out an item that you were not expecting when you have your own campaign for the whole year, because you gave them an item.
Yeah.
But if it's an item that goes from somewhere else, then that feels very good.
Yeah.
That feels like, oh shit, I was planning this whole thing, but you nullified it with the one item you had. You know what? Inspiration point.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's also because it kind of gives you, from the player's perspective, a little bit of the thing that I find the most fun and actually really challenging as a DM, is to make the world feel alive between sessions. Like NPCs things should happen, factions should do things. When you have the player characters coming in and just being like, well, I went away for a while and now I have this die. Like that's also cool because it moves things along. I'm mindful of the time, actually. Damn, it flies. So we have about 10 minutes left. So I'm going to ask you some questions that I have received ahead of time too. We need to do a follow-up on this one. So,
session part 2.
We are both chatterboxes. This is the problem.
Yes.
I'm choosing one each for you. So, Sohail, here's your question. I believe you've said you don't balance encounters with deadly enemies on the Titan of Glory. How scared are you yourself when your players face deadly foes?
I don't really like this thing of like balancing CRs and whatnot. It's too hard, basically. And then someone changes something last minute, plus we have magic items. No, I don't do it. Basically what I do is I think about myself as a character. And if I was facing this, is this absolutely unachievable or not? And then if it feels barely unachievable, it's about the right balance. Because whatever you think or you imagine your characters are going to get up to, they're going to do better than that. And in fact, that's why I was so casual with pulling out a Demon Lord for that puzzle. Because actually I was like, I want to have something that's actually... The idea was it's not defeatable, but it just gets you rushing around the room and otherwise doing what's a pretty easy task, which was to get the goal of why they were in that little pocket dimension and then get out of there. And they kind of took it to town and it got one of them in the end. I've actually rerun that puzzle session as part of a League game with some other characters. And when they left and they all decided to leave because it was too much, he was actually on 1 hit point. They were all a bit higher level and it was more consistent character mix, whereas the first time around there was some low level characters, so it got a bit dicey. But yeah, I'm always, well, I used to be more frightened and I'm learning as time goes forward that actually 5e characters are reasonably unkillable, especially when we have quite smart players who know their characters well, know their spells well, and are armed to the teeth with magic items. Like, it's almost a challenge, like, try to down one.
I am always frightened to death when I'm on the Titan of Glory, because I'm just like, what's this huge thing? I'm a little goblin. I don't know.
That fits with Ozek's persona, though.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
All right, Alessandro.
Yes.
What tips do you have for someone who wants to do more improv?
Be lazy. Be absolutely want to do the bare minimum.
I see joy in your eyes here.
That's kind of it. And I don't know, maybe. Well, how do you do more improv? Honestly, I don't know. This is just something that I have kind of been doing.
Well, you said you've been DMing for
17 years. Yes.
17 years, right? Were you like that at the beginning?
The first few years, no. And I had probably be traumatized by players. That's another way. I had a couple of power players, like they really optimized the shit out of their characters and they were just doing whatever. And I remember the first session I made with them was, here's a big dragon that you're not supposed to kill. He's supposed to kill you to have... I was... 15, 16 something, that they kind of supposed to kill you and then you wake up or something, a typical hook, basic hook. They obliterated the dragon without the dragon being able to do absolutely anything. It was D&D 3.5, one character had AC 45 and at level 10, and another one was a Scion who was blasting 120 damages per turn. I was not planning for that. The dragon had 250 HP at level 10. Fantastic. And from that moment on, I started, it took me a couple more sessions. I started improvising much more. And once again, when I was in university, somebody decided to they were collecting items for the plots that would let them level up. I never found out why they decided to give those items to the bad guy. And at the point I was like, I don't have anything prepared for this. There's you didn't even skip the challenge. You just decided to throw everything away for no reason. Let's make something out of it. So, unfortunately, I do not have practical tips besides play with worse players. And then when you get back with amazing players like the ones with the league from the league, you can surprise them with all the improvisation.
All the
I
things
guess.
you've learned.
Exactly.
I love it. I have some reactions on stakes on Titan of Glory here too. I like the stakes on Titan of Glory, says Cassidy. Which says, I have felt true fear. Same.
Good.
Ryan suggests improv classes. I am a little intrigued, I have to confess. And
those are fun. But I think I took like 2, probably. But like in the last couple of years, just because I wanted to do something.
I have had this feeling that my work is my improv training because I freelance and I do brand identity or identity stuff. So all the time, everyone comes at that from a different perspective or like different needs. So every time I'm in a meeting with someone, I'm like, I'm just like, well, I have to improvise because you don't have the same ideas, you don't have the same background, or you don't have the same needs. So I'm never going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to just ask questions. So I think actually D&D is making me better at my job too, in terms of improvisation.
That's interesting.
And
I know Eduardo has done musical improv. So here's a shout to you. You need to create a bard, mate, and
That's
and
very
bring
cool.
that to the table. Yeah.
I didn't know. Wait, probably he mentioned once. I didn't know if he plays an instrument. Eduardo, are you on the call? Actually,
does anyone have information?
Exactly. We need
Your accent went so much more Italian for a second.
Yes, because I said Eduardo. That sets the mood for the rest of the conversation.
Can all of us in the league who play an instrument do an Oops All Bards session and then jam?
Yes.
I am so scared.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. I just imagine a funny and slightly annoying voice and build NPCs and characters around it. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what Egg does. Just imagine a funny and slightly annoying voice and build NPCs and characters around it.
That's also a very good
okay?
strategy.
Yeah.
That's also a very good strategy, to be honest.
The slider of slightly annoying to funny does change from character to character.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know various people have various opinions on which ones those are, but I shan't.
Yeah.
I shan't put them out here on public air. But
I will always go of Cody. Cody's mentioned.
Cody's been mentioned. It wasn't me.
Yeah. Yep. I also like a little on the Titan of Wonders, since everyone is rich and carefree. I have used a Valley Girl accent a few times, which I can't really do, but we can try. We can try our things. Hey, we need to do some D100 questions.
Go for it. We have
Roll
4
the
minutes.
dice. We have 4 minutes. Go.
This feels like lots of my sessions. Last minute.
Ooh.
Is this 90 or 80? 80.
80.
80.
80.
See, this is my level of knowledge of the D&D rules. I don't even know how to read the D100.
D100.
I just trust my players.
D100 is a bitch. It's the hardest one.
Thank you.
But that's the fun of this. No.
Exactly.
Or potentially the D12, which is confusing. Like it's a not quite formed D20. That could be also the hardest one.
I just
Good
heard
question for your list.
Oh yeah. Which die
Which
is the worst? Which item, location, or NPC did your players latch onto much more than expected? Titan of Frog edition.
Titan of Frog edition.
I think so. Yeah.
Ooh.
What is it? NPC, magic item, or location?
Or location. Yeah.
That's a cool question.
People did like snowboarding.
I was going to say, I remember snowboarding.
I remember people really liked the snowboarding. Like the third session on the Frog, it was a snowboarding contest, and people did like it. Unfortunately, the problem with changing flavor every week is that I have not really used it that much, because I always want to do I have kind of an ADHD approach to it. So, what did people... Actually, we have people from the Titan of Frog, for example, Ege.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. You answer. For some nothing comes to mind. I will pass if it comes to mind.
Snowboarding counts.
Exactly.
That's also an activity. Ege is typing, so we will hear from him.
Okay, let's go for it.
Go ahead and roll.
52.
52. Scrolling.
Get an easy one.
What's the most chaos a single character has ever caused at your table?
A single character who's caused chaos.
I mean, starting a new invasion in grass domain sounds like you gotta do.
Yeah, I wanna. Is that true? Oh, okay. I'm gonna say Emil. Once upon a time, the Titan of Glory has like a big fighting ring, and so naturally it occurred to me that in a reasonably large city there would also be like underground get-ups of the same flavor where you get to break the rules a bit more, Fight Clubby kind of situation. So in a session called the Hidden Ring, there was a sense that one of these things is quite big, and adventurers had to go investigate it because they thought that one of the guards was in on it. So if they try to go through the normal guard thing, they'll get busted, it'll close down, whatever. These guys go in, they're in a crowded area, underground, sweaty, there's a bunch of people, like there's blood in this pit, and someone bumps into someone, and Emil's character, who's higher level than most of the rest, starts a fight. In that, we had another character that was killed. That was actually almost the first death, except I think this was very young Evatari. Yeah, I believe it was Evatari. We were right at the end of the session. They were going to level up at the end of it, and they said, would you let me level up now because the next spell I get is Revivify. And so I left it down to a dice roll. I was like, how in touch are you with your god? Roll a wisdom check. And it was like 25. And this is before we had like these 30 rolls.
Yeah.
I think it was 23 to 25 or something like that on a level 3 character. And I was like, all right, you can level up now and cast a spell. And so like 10 minutes early, they leveled up and someone was not obliterated because of this. But yeah. Oh, I should rewind a little bit. They started Emil started the fight with Fabricator Forge.
Yeah.
And then when Evatari went to like bamf both of them away from the fight so that it was confusing, he said, I'm not willing. So he stayed in there and then almost
unwilling target.
And then said, I'm almost dead, help. It's like, we tried to help. And then chaos ensued. I think that was the biggest momentary chaos that I was, and I didn't have to do anything. I was just like looking at everyone else and eating M&Ms.
When they make it easy for you.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I have 2 answers for you as well, Alessandro.
Yes.
Ege is really attached to Reptar's son.
Okay. But that was not unexpected to me.
Okay.
Oh, that son.
And then I have the answer from Tevin, the stock market.
Cool.
Okay, that's also surprising to me because it's a fond memory, but I haven't done anything with it and it was not really brought up afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
can you explain, please, about Reptar's son? Because I think people need to know this.
I mean...
Broad strokes.
Broad stroke, they were not particularly broad. There was a lot of strokes, though, involved. How NSFW can we do this?
There's already mention of... I think I have an idea. I have not given a disclaimer, but right now, if children are watching, don't watch anymore. And now...
So, fantastic. They were trying to infiltrate the enclave, like a lab, like mix of fortress lab, everything, of one of the main big bads from the campaign. They found shelter in a giant shell of a giant snail. Except the snail wasn't really giant inside, it's just that the shell was also pocket dimension. And inside it was a normally sized, like a human-sized snail. And they wanted to convince the snail to give them like safe passage inside the fortress. It was one thing after the other. I do not remember how or why they decided to try to have intercourse with the snail, because it's not something that happens. Like in the campaign, people are very, like, we don't have like the horny bard, for example.
Yeah. I was there at this session, and I will say that snail was flirtatious.
Oh,
That
flirty
snail was
snails.
flirtatious, and I think it was.
They probably did latch on that.
They latched onto something.
So
If we name this
Two
episode something,
somethings.
it's that snail was flirtatious.
They latched onto two somethings. If I recollect clearly.
correct. So basically, they decided to have a three-way intercourse with basically three fathers. We have Raptor, Beleth, and the snail, which unfortunately I do not remember. I don't even remember if it's got a name. Like whatever. The snail is not important. The child, Marv, is. The snail was connected to the Astral Sea because the pocket dimension was inside the Astral Sea. And these together with the three contributions came out with a... Yeah, exactly. The child, please.
Looking at
on
the image
YouTube,
again.
on YouTube, all this explanation needs to be with Marv face there.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically the child was born since the time on the frog. For people that haven't played there, works differently. Once you leave the frog, thousands of years pass inside. So yeah, they received a letter basically right after they left of the father of the child saying, hey, the child is first of all kind of immortal, and it went to it ages differently. He left the frog and started navigating the Astral Sea. So this is a child of four fathers because we have a snail, the raptor, Beleth, and the sky itself, the night.
Amazing.
There were no rooms inside a giant snail shell. So all the rest of us were just sitting there watching, I guess.
Yes, correct. And
Oh Lord.
also the sounds were very clear, and the snail is very, it's very moist as a snail. So
Oh.
anyway, enjoy.
This is what happens on the Titan of Frog. Oh my god.
This was
so
a huge
for
surprise.
fairness. I actually have 0 questions. But I do see Beleth enjoyed.
Thank you, Beleth.
You also described it as moist back then. You wonder why.
It's a snail.
well-
Why is it moist?
It is so that they can actually walk. That is why they are moist, because they move so slow and they make it a little path for themselves. I believe. Google that.
Snail lore.
I'm going to try to wrap us up after that
Fantastic.
somehow. This was a lot of fun. Thank you all in the chat for contributing to this chaos. Thank you both. I want to continue this conversation for 3 more hours, but we'll do it another time as well.
Yeah, it was fun. Loved it.
A lot of fun. We'll post this on the YouTube channel, and we'll announce a next one soon. Thank you, everybody, and have a lovely evening. Cheers.